Hi everyone, glad you're here tonight. You've made the right decision to come to this webinar. If you're interested in getting real results from your online business, then what we're going to share is going to be right up your alley. The strategies and tactics we're going to talk about are proven to work in any niche. And if you stay until the end, I'm going to teach you a bonus strategy that allowed me to turn an email list that only got 62 opens per email into one with over 1,000 opens per email. Many of you already know who I am, but for the benefit of those who may not, I'll give you a brief introduction, and I'll keep it mercifully brief. My name is Matthew Graves, and I've been working in online marketing since launching thegolfchannel.com back in the late 1990s. I started my own company in 2001, and we've launched over a dozen websites that help work-at-home entrepreneurs like you and me get traffic to their websites. By 2004, I was doing well enough with my business to quit my last job. I plan on making sure that it stays my last job by continually figuring out what it takes to be successful online. We're 12 years and counting. So in 2015, last year, I started a coaching and consulting company called Quick Start Coach. And now we work closely with both home-based marketers and large marketing companies to help supercharge their success. So that's my little brief bio, and that's enough about me. So let's instead talk about what we're going to cover tonight. So let's move along the slideshow. So the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is how marketing has changed and why the old techniques that most people are doing online just don't work anymore. The next thing that we're going to talk about is what the gurus who are still crushing it with their marketing, even in the overstimulated world of today, are doing differently. And then third, I'm going to show you exactly what steps you need to do differently if you want to get more sign-up sales and income starting tomorrow. The best part is that you can do it without actually selling and pressuring people. You can make more money and actually feel great about doing it. Remember that if you stay until the end, you also get a bonus strategy to help you revive dead email lists. So you move along here. So I know what you might be thinking. These strategies sound great if you're a marketing guru with a huge list and everyone knows who you are. And you're right. It's easier if you've been building an online presence for some time. But it works for those who are just starting out too. We're going to talk about a totally different way to approach your marketing and your prospects. The other thing to remember is that every example of an online guru that I will use tonight who are earning more than 7 figures a year was in the same place as you with no income and no list less than 5 years ago. We're not talking about people that have been doing this for decades. I'm going to be talking tonight about people that have built their businesses in the last 3 to 5 years. So maybe you aren't shooting to do 7 figures, or maybe you are, but the tactics simply work. And they generate results no matter what your end goal is. Whether you have 100 or 100,000 clients is only limited by what you want to achieve. However, this workshop isn't really for everybody. It's for people who are serious about their success. It's not for those who want to get rich quick. We all know that doesn't work. It's not for people who want to do nothing and get paid, because we know that doesn't work either. It's not for people who don't want to learn and become better, both at their marketing or more knowledgeable in their niche. Because learning and growing and getting outside your comfort zone is essential to success. But if you are willing to do some work, have some patience, and learn new things, then you're in the right place tonight. So I haven't always known what I'm about to teach you. I've learned a lot of new things over the years too. As my mother would have said, I had to do it the hard way. You don't have to, because you get the benefit of all my failed experiments and sleepless nights. So I'd like to start out by saying that I didn't discover this new strategy myself. I would like to be able to say that this is something that I came completely up with on my own, but that isn't actually how it came about. You see, when I started in online marketing on my own with my company back in 2001, frankly, it was easy. You could put up a sales page offering just about anything with any sort of reasonable value and people would buy it. They didn't have to know who you were or have a relationship with you. If the product looked interesting, they just whipped out their credit card. That all changed when the global financial crisis hit. People didn't have the money to waste like they used to. They felt scared. Most of all, they didn't trust anybody. All of those promises of big money on the sales pages just sounded impossible in that environment. So this hit the online marketing world like a ton of bricks. Conversions dropped, sales went down. Everybody said, just wait until the recession's over and things will return to the way that it used to be. Well, the recession ended, supposedly, but sales didn't come back and conversions didn't increase. Things were permanently changed by the experience that people had gone through with their hardship. People were done with buying from strangers. This started a multiple-year journey for me to figure out how to be successful in this new world. I tried everything. I did social media. I did video sales letters. I did YouTube. I even did a live streaming video show every day for a month to see if that could make a difference. Each tactic I tried might move the needle for a short period of time, but the changes didn't last. I was jumping from idea to idea, trying to figure out the one that was going to work for the long term. I was really just trying to put Band-Aids on a gaping wound. It just wasn't working. So while I and others like me were struggling to figure out how to make sales back in 2013 and 2014, I was watching other people who I followed just do launch after launch that were super successful. Obviously, they knew something that I didn't know, and I had to know what it was. So I made some connections through some people I knew and told a few gurus that I wanted to do consulting for them. All my learning, in air quotes, meant that I knew a lot of different tools. And these guys were growing fast. They needed people who could hit the ground running. So within a couple of months, I was running back-end operations for a company that was selling digital training products to the tune of over $2 million in sales a year. So when I first connected with them, I just couldn't wait to get access to all their back-end systems. I wanted to log into their autoresponder. I just couldn't wait because I was expecting to log into their email accounts and find hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I wanted to learn how they built such enormous lists that allowed them to sell so many online courses and products. So you can imagine my surprise when I actually got inside, logged into their accounts, and found that this particular guy was doing over $2 million in sales a year, had a list of under 25,000 people. Now, that might seem like a lot if you only have 100 people on your list, but at the time, my personal list was over 400,000 people. How were they able to generate sales that were 10 times more than mine with a list that was less than 10% of the size of my list? I had to get to the bottom of it. So I went straight to the guru himself and asked. And his answer sent me on a whole journey in a different direction. And this was his answer. It isn't the size of your list. It's the depth of your relationship with each person on your list and how you talk to them. His list weren't just subscribers. They were his friends. They saw him as their trusted guide and mentor. To them, he wasn't a salesperson. So I was with that company for close to a year, running their operations and absorbing exactly how he created that effect. I read every email, discussed every strategy, sat in on all the copywriting sessions. I was there to learn. I also ended up doing contract work for a variety of other gurus. And time after time, company after company, I kept seeing the same thing. People were doing the same thing. This, what you see on your screen, that they weren't focused on how big their list was. They were focused on how they could deepen the relationship with every person on the list. So during that time, we did several successful launches, including one where we convinced over 1,000 of his followers to spend $2,500 each excuse me, on a single online course about how to create online courses, a course about how to create courses. In a period of 10 days that we were selling that course, we did $2.6 million in sales, more than he had sold in the entire previous year of 2014. 2.6 million in 10 days. I was just amazed. Now, what I didn't tell you is that that particular guru, he started his online business in 2012 with no list and no followers. So in less than 3 years, he had done a launch where he sold $2.6 million in 10 days from when he started online. So let's talk about exactly what you need to do to have more success in your online marketing and how to apply what you see on your screen right now. So the first thing that you need to do is you have to change your mindset from being a salesperson to being a trusted guide. The reality is people don't like being sold. They have their built-in defense mechanisms that protect them from the pitches of those who they see as salespeople. Think about the last time you were out looking for a car. If you're in the United States or Canada, then at least I can speak from that point of view. Then what most people do is they go and there's a section of town where the car lots are. And that's where all the dealers are that sell all the cars. So you go and you drive by the car lots and you take a look and you see if there's anything that catches your eye. So maybe you see a car that you like the looks of on the car lot. So you pull into the car lot and you drive up in front of it and you take a look at it from inside your car. And you're like, do I think I might be interested in buying that car? So you decide, yeah, he looks pretty good. So you get out and you go over and you start looking in the windows. You start looking to see what color's the interior, what kind of shape's it in. You're looking more closely at it. Is it rusted? Does it have any problems? And what you're thinking in your mind is, I might want to buy this car. I like this car. I might want to buy it. Then, out of the corner of the eye, across the parking lot, you see the door open. It's the door to the sales office. And out comes the used car salesman, as much as that cliche can be used. And he starts walking across the lot towards you. And you see him. Immediately, your entire demeanor, your entire thoughts in your head change. I've done this so many times. Immediately, you start thinking, not anymore about, I might be interested in buying this car. Now you're thinking about, how can I prevent that guy from trying to sell me this car? All those defense mechanisms go up to protect you from that salesperson, because people love to buy things, but they hate to be sold. They love to buy, but they hate to be sold. You just want to be left alone to look at that car and decide whether you're interested. If you were interested, you'll go in and talk to them. But no, instead, they're coming out to talk to you. And all that you want to do, what you're thinking in your mind, is there enough time before he gets across the parking lot that I can hop back in my car and speed away before he gets here? That is what happens to us when we get exposed to salespeople. So you have to change your mindset from being a salesperson to the people that you're trying to influence into being a trusted guide. So think a little bit about what most internet marketing training and programs tell you to do. They say, sign up for our program take our links and send as much traffic to the sales pages as you can. Some of those people will sign up and buy the product and you make a commission. It sounds simple, right? Except that it doesn't work. Not today. When you send cold traffic, and by cold traffic, I mean people who don't know who you are. When you send cold traffic to a sales page without a proper introduction from someone who they know, like, and trust, they don't sign up. If they don't sign up, then they don't buy. So they're trying to get you to market like it was 2004 all over again. They are trying to get you to act like a salesperson and try to sell strangers their product. It's no wonder that you aren't making any money if you're taking this approach. Now, some people say, well, the solution to that is you need to build a list. I mean, everywhere you hear people say, build a list, build a list. And I'm not saying a list is bad. But what they tell you is when people are on your list, now you can send them offer after offer until they eventually buy. Now, building a list is smart, but sending them offer after offer is not. When you treat your list like your own personal pitch line, then people don't respond because they see you as a salesperson. So their protection mechanisms kick in. They doubt everything you say because they think you're just trying to part them from their money. So imagine this scenario. You're walking across the parking lot, getting ready to go into the grocery store. And somebody who's a stranger comes up to you, somebody you've never seen them before, comes up to you as you're walking across the parking lot and says, hey, buddy, you really need to go try out this new restaurant because it's really great. How do you react to that? Do you immediately feel compelled to go try out the restaurant? No. What you're probably thinking is, who's this weirdo in the parking lot? And you start walking as quickly as you can in the opposite direction. Maybe you walk straight inside to the manager's office and say, hey, some weirdo out in the parking lot is accosting people, trying to get them to go see a restaurant. You might want to call the authorities. You're not compelled or influenced to go and try that restaurant. Why? Because that person is a stranger. You don't trust them. You don't trust their opinion. You don't know what's motivating them to be accosting strangers in a parking lot. What you're going through your mind is maybe this guy's being paid by the restaurant to drum up business. Well, he's not doing a very good job. Isn't that what we are? If we're just promoting sales page after sales page after sales page, or if we're getting people to join our list and then just emailing them over and over and over again with, hey, buy my stuff. We're like that stranger in the parking lot. They don't know who we are. We're just a spammer to them. Now, take contrast to that and say, imagine your best friend came up to you and said, hey, I really think that you should try out this new restaurant. It's really good, and I know you really like Chinese food, and they have the best Chinese food I ever had. I think you'll really like it. Your best friend. Will you feel compelled to go try out that restaurant? Absolutely. In fact, you may have to go try out the restaurant, even if you don't feel like it, because you know that the next time you see your friend, he's going to ask you and say, hey, did you try out that restaurant I told you about? And you want to be able to say that you did. That's the difference between a recommendation from a stranger, like the guy in the parking lot, and a recommendation from a friend, like your best friend recommending you the restaurant. Your friend you trust. Your friend, you don't feel like he has a lot of motivation to get you to try out this restaurant. He's probably not an affiliate for the restaurant. The stranger, you're not so sure. So your friend doesn't look like a salesperson. The guy in the parking lot does. So what do you need to do instead is you do have to build a list, but then instead of pitching them offer after offer, you need to focus on becoming their friend before you offer the first product for sale or that you recommend. You do this by helping them with their problems in whatever niche that you're in. And this strategy works in all niches. You help them with their problems, usually through having a blog and writing well-crafted emails designed to give them value before you ever ask for anything in return. You're going to be the first one to give. You're going to help before you ask them to do anything. And even when you do start sending offers to your list, they're going to be worded like recommendations from a friend, like the one who recommended the restaurant. They're not going to be, hey, sign up for this. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's all over in 48 hours on the dime sale. What they're going to be is, hey, I know you're trying to get more success online, and to do that, I know you know how important it is to build an email list. So the email autoresponder that I use is GetResponse. So this is why I like them and I really trust them. So if you're looking for one, here's a link where you can sign up. It's not salesy. You don't have to feel like you're pressuring people. This is how you can make money without selling, because you've built a relationship first. So typically what that means is that when you're emailing your list, you're going to be sending 5 to 10 times as much content that is just designed to help them as you do content designed to get them to buy or sign up for something. That means 5 helpful emails for every one recommending a product, at least. That particular guru who did the $2.6 million launch, he emails his list every day, but he only emails sales emails 30 times a year. So 1 in 10, 1 in 12, in fact, 1 in 12 emails is to trying to get them to buy something. The rest are all about, hey, I posted this new article on my blog that I think you might find really useful. Hey, I found this article on somebody else's blog that I think you might find really useful. Or just teaching right in the email itself. Offering a suggestion, offering a tip where you don't benefit if they take advantage of it. Now, you can merge it a little bit and have some that are mostly helping with a little bit of sales in some combination, but the rough breakdown of the content that you're sending your list should be at least 5 to 1. Because your goal here is to keep them from seeing you as a salesperson for as long as possible, preferably forever. That they never put that wall up that makes them think, I need to protect myself from this person because they're trying to sell me stuff. This is a complete shift in how you need to think about your business. You aren't thinking about what you're going to sell somebody anymore. You don't think about, how am I going to sell this product? You think about, how am I going to build a relationship with an audience so that they know, like, and trust me? The sales come as a natural byproduct of helping. What better person to recommend products along their journey than the helpful person who's serving as their guide? You need to communicate with them in a way that makes them see you as their guide, not as a salesperson. That is a shift in how you need to think, in how you need to approach everything you do with your marketing online. And it serves the foundation for everything that comes later. So the second part of what you need to do to be able to take advantage of this strategy is you need to set up your systems to create an audience that knows, likes, and trusts you. With that new strategy in place, you have to have a system that is going to actually make it work. And there's a few different rules you need to follow in order to create that system. Rule number 1, never promote any program or opportunity to cold traffic. When you go out and you look at the traffic that people generate, you could use a traffic exchange, you can use a mailer, you can buy traffic, you can use solo ads, traffic co-ops. There's zillions of ways to create traffic. What most people send their traffic to, send their visitors to, are sign-up pages for opportunities. Hey, here's the sign-up page for Skinny Body Care. Hey, here's the sign-up page for World Profit. Join World Profit. It's a great program. You're trying to get a stranger, because cold traffic is people who do not know who you are. They have no connection with you, and you have not built any relationship with them. They're strangers. You're taking strangers and you're sending them to sales pages that are promoting an opportunity. That is wrong. You should never send any cold traffic directly to a program or an opportunity sign-up page. Not even if that sign-up page looks like a lead capture page. Because you have to follow rule number 2. Rule number 2 is you only promote your own lead capture pages to cold traffic. So I don't know what experience everyone had, so I'm going to start from the beginning. But a lead capture page is a page that belongs to you, that you've created using some other program, and there's ones like Landing Page Monkey, or you can create them if you have your own WordPress website in your WordPress website, ClickFunnels, Lead Pages. There's a variety of different programs you can use. But it's to create a page which serves only one purpose. When someone comes to that page, there's only one thing that they can take, thing that they can do on that page, and that is sign up for your list. So usually a lead capture page offers some sort of what we call a lead magnet, and that is some sort of a bribe, a free giveaway. So maybe you have a lead capture page, and the headline on the lead capture page is 5 ways to double your traffic in the next 30 days. Get the free report. And then you ask them for their email address. That's a report that you have created that is exclusive to you, using a page that is exclusive to you to promote it, so that people can sign up for your autoresponder, for your list. Your autoresponder is where you store and manage your email list. So when someone wants that report and they find that headline compelling, and they have to have that report, they fill in their email address, they get added to your list, and immediately your autoresponder program sends them an email, and that email includes a link so that they can get their report that they signed up for. Now they're on your list. They've signed up. They've identified that they put up their hands and said, hey, help me get some traffic. So you've got your lead capture page, which is exclusive to you. You have a lead magnet that you've created. Now, most people create and think about lead magnets the wrong way. A lead magnet shouldn't be big. It should be small. A 50-page ebook is not a good lead magnet, because a lead magnet is supposed to serve 2 purposes. One purpose is to make it a compelling bribe so that people will join your list. But the other purpose is so that when someone gets it, they read it, use it, get value from it, and that helps to build their trust and like of you. How many 50-page ebooks have you ever read that you downloaded even for free? Probably not very many. They're still sitting on your hard drive. Because when you give somebody something that is very big, it might sound like it's a great offer, compelling, get this big thing for free. But the problem is, if they don't consume it, then you lose the secondary benefit, which is getting them to appreciate the content that you've created and given to them. What you really want is them to consume it, put it into action, and get some sort of a positive benefit from it. Now they're going to pay attention to you from that point forward. So the ideal lead magnet, you don't have to think about, I got to create this big ebook. 2 or 3 pages of content created in Word or Google Docs. Put a nice logo on it, make it look nice, format it out, make it look nice, put your name on it, save it as a PDF document. That's your lead magnet. Just make it fulfill the promise of the headline. 5 ways to double your traffic in the next 30 days. Make a list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write the 5 things down, write a couple paragraphs about each. Boom, you got a lead magnet. Create your own lead magnet. Create your own lead capture page. After they sign up, they go to a thank you page and they get an email in their email that gives them a link to go to the page where they can get your lead magnet and collect it. That is the only thing you should promote to cold traffic. The only goal that you have with cold traffic is get them to sign up for your list, because once they're on your list, now you can start working on building a relationship with them. Now, rule number 3. So number 1, never promote any program or opportunity to cold traffic. Number 2, only promote your lead capture pages to cold traffic. And number 3, create a platform to bring your audience together. So when I talk about your platform, what I'm really talking about is your website. You need your own website. You need to have a place where your audience can keep coming back to interact with you, coming back to get your content. And usually that website would have a blog. And you need to post something useful on your blog at least once a week. You don't have to post every day like some people say. Once a week is fine, but you can't let a week go by that you don't put some useful article up on your blog. And then you email the people who are on your list and you say, I put a new article up on my blog, come check it out. They come back. The more times they come back and interact with you, and the more time they come and see your website, and your website is nice and looks professional, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you. The more they're going to see you as a guide for them. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a pro to lead people. You just need to know more than they do. A 5th grader can teach a 2nd grader math, even though they're not a mathematical expert. You just need to be further along in the journey than they are. So the fact that you're here on this webinar and you're learning this tonight, the fact that you're going to leave this webinar, you're going to go and take action, you're going to set up your own lead capture page, focus on building your list, and start working on creating a website, means you're ahead of 95% of the online marketers out there. You now have something you can teach them. You don't have to be a guru to make this work. There's lots of people out there that don't know as much as you that would love to follow you. But you need to get out there, get them on your email list, and then have a website that looks as professional as possible, where you're putting useful content out at least once a week. Then you use other platforms like Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Pinterest, whatever ones you want. Pick one, do it really well, then think about adding a second. Usually that one is going to be Facebook for most people. So you need to have a Facebook page. Your Facebook page needs to look like your website from point of view. It's got the logos and the images and the branding on it to make it all look professional. You go out and you start interacting with people in Facebook. But your ultimate goal is not to build a great list of people in Facebook. Your ultimate goal is to keep making them offers that drive them to your lead magnet pages so that they want to get those lead magnets and join your list, because your goal is build that list, build that list, build that list, and then deepen that relationship with that list. Go deeper and deeper. Get them to know, like, and trust you. Get them to see you as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide. Everything. I call these platforms, these outside platforms like Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, all these different places where you can connect with people. I call those your embassies. They are not your main platform. Your main platform is your website and your email list. That is the asset that you build in your business. The better you build that asset, the more money you make. It's as simple as that. All these other things are just ways to connect with people out where they are. People are already on Facebook. You go out to Facebook, you interact, connect with people there, but your ultimate goal, drive them back to the home base. Drive them back to opt-in for your opt-in offers. Drive them back to see your blog posts and your content. The more they interact with you, the more valuable they are as a lead. So you need your own website with your own domain name. You need to be as professional as possible. You need to create useful content on your site at least once a week. You need to use other platforms to connect with people and bring them back to your home base. And you need to use your emails that are going out to keep bringing people back to your home base. Every time you write a new blog post, you write an email, bringing everybody on your list back to the home base to read the blog post. So we'll restart. Rule number 1, no promoting programs to cold traffic. Rule number 2, only promote your lead capture pages to cold traffic. Rule number 3, create your platform to bring your audience together. Every 6-figure or greater online marketer has their own website. Do what the people that are having success do, and you will also have success. Rule number 4, when you're writing to your audience, writing emails or writing blog posts, write to them like they're your friends. Don't write like it's a textbook. Don't try to use big words to impress people. You want your emails and all the content you create to be in a conversational tone. Imagine when you're writing that you are sitting across the table from a friend and you're offering him advice on what he should do to build his online business. Talk to it like that. When you write promotional emails, don't make them sound like sales pitches. If you read your promotional email out loud and it sounds like it could be an infomercial on QVC, then ditch it and start over again. Write it like it's a recommendation from a friend. Like, again, you're sitting across the table from your friend and he says, hey, I hear you're building an email list. What would you suggest that I do? And what tools would you suggest that I use if I want to build an email list? Well, and you explain it to him. That's how you write your email, like you're talking to a friend. Well, that's rule number 4. Write to your audience like they're your friends. Rule number 5, only promote products that help to make your relationship stronger. If you promote junk to your list, that damages this know, like, and trust that you've built up. You have to promote to them things that work and things that they're going to use. I don't promote to my list a whole bunch of WordPress themes or WordPress plugins because I know that most of the people that are on my list don't have their own WordPress websites. They might buy them if I recommended them. And because the sales pages are really compelling and you add on a recommendation of somebody who you know, like, and trust, and you'll buy it, you'll think it's great, you'll use it, but they won't use it. So I don't recommend it. Only recommend things that help to deepen your relationship with people. No junk that doesn't work and no products that people aren't going to use. So the last of the things that you need to focus on is you need to focus on the long-term value of your 5-star prospects on your list. So what do I mean by that? You're going to create a system in that previous message. You're going to create a system between your lead capture pages and your lead magnets that are bringing people into your list. And then you have emails that are going out to people on the list and content that you're publishing on your website. You're creating a system that is going to educate and motivate people to want to do business with you. You have to let the system sift, sort, and screen all the people that come into contact with your brand so that only the best prospects end up falling into your lap. You want to devote the majority of your attention on the people that I would classify as being a 5-star prospect. Somebody who's ready to make a difference, ready to work and make a change, and wants you to help them. Somebody can be ready to make a change, but if they don't know, like, and trust you, and they don't believe that you're the guy to help them, then they're not a 5-star prospect. If somebody wants you to help them because they're needy, they need help, but they don't really want help, they're not really willing to do what it takes, they're not a 5-star prospect. You want the system to sift, sort, and screen people so that people will put up their hands and they'll say, I trust you. I know I can trust you. Can you help me? And they'll do that in a whole variety of ways. Can't get into all of that tonight. But they'll identify themselves as wanting help. And then that is where you go deep. You will make, by the 80-20 rule, 80% of your income off 20% of the people. And you can extrapolate that and go even deeper. You'll make 65% of your income off 4% of your people. Those 4%, those are the 5-star prospects, and they are worth a fortune. You have to have a system that is going to convince, educate, motivate people to want to do business with you. And then when someone puts their hands up and says, yes, I want help, they drop right into your lap, right into your personal email, so that you can start communicating with them one-on-one. Those people, they'll sign up for 6 different products, a network marketing opportunity, and they'll do it year after year. My best individual client, and I'm talking, not talking the companies that I work with, but my best coaching client paid me over $15,000 so far this year. My number one client, I know who he is. I know who my number one client is, and I know what he spent. And he gets a lot of my attention because he bought $15,000 worth of product from my company this year. I know who my number 2 is. I know who my number 3 is. I know who my top 50 are. My top 50 clients make up more than 90% of all the money that I make. So who do you think gets the fastest email responses? Who do you think has my personal email? And even many of them, my coaching clients, my personal phone number, and the ability to set up an appointment with me to spend an hour with them anytime they want. Right? Direct access to my Google Calendar to be able to set up appointments. The people that generate 90% of my income. Yes, I have 400,000 people on my list, but I'd rather go super deep with 100 people, make a real difference in their lives, give them everything they need, than to go shallow with 100,000 and make no difference at all. You will do more good in the world, more good for your clients, and make more money if you go deep with your 5-star prospects. So when somebody writes you an email and says they want to do business with you, you reply. You respond to them. And you set up your system to encourage them to do that in a whole variety of different ways. And what I'm going to do in my little bonus thing at the end of this webinar is going to illustrate to you one of those ways. So that is why it's so important to focus on the long-term value of your 5-star prospects. So make sure you stick to the end So you can get that last action strategy that helps to determine who those 5-star prospects are. And it helps to bring those dead email lists back to life. So if you found what I've been showing you so far helpful, then you're really going to like what I'm about to tell you about, because it's a new program that I've been doing this year that I really want to share with you. So much of the searching that I did when I was looking for solutions as to why marketing wasn't working was done to help my audience, not really myself. I was doing okay, not as good as I used to, but I was still doing okay. But I knew that as someone who sold traffic to internet marketers, I had to be able to teach them what works so they keep getting results. People didn't want traffic. They want signups and sales. If they're not getting signups and sales from my traffic, they're going to leave. So if it's not bringing them results, they're going to suffer. And that when they suffer, my business suffers. So I knew I had to figure out how to make my traffic work for other people. And I had to figure out what I could teach them to make it work. So I've spent years teaching to those on my list about what was working for me. I went out and contacted these gurus because I wanted to learn what worked for them so that I could use it to help my audience. So after being fully immersed in the world for months, I felt like I'd pretty much learned all that was needed. I knew how they were getting the results they were getting. I knew the exact little tactics and strategies that they were using, the little tweaks here and there that were really making the difference. It all based on this idea of creating an audience of people that know, like, and trust you. But I knew that, and I knew how they were doing it. So I stopped taking on new contracts from the big marketers. And during the time I was working for them, it wasn't just me. I had actually personally hired 17 employees for my company that were doing contract work for all the gurus too. So when somebody needed a video edited, one of the gurus needed a video edited, they didn't have video editors. They sent the video to me. I had a video editing guy who would edit it and send it back to them. If they needed their website redesigned, I had website designers. I had copywriters to write the copy for their emails. I had graphics designers to create all their logos and their graphics. I had guys that were experts in shopping carts and PHP programming and social media. I hired over 150 different people and narrowed it down to the 17 that were the best in what they did. Whatever any guru needed, I could do it. But when I left, I took all them with me too. And together, my experts and I tried to figure out what we could do to help beginning entrepreneurs get started properly and get their businesses set up for success. Frankly, I was tired of making more millions for millionaires. I wanted to figure out how could I take what I learned and create something that would make an amount of money for the average starting out person that would really make a difference. And that's what we worked on, and that's what we created. But I knew that there was a lot more to it than just telling people what to do. You can take a course that will teach you how to do Facebook marketing. You can take a course to teach you about how to create a WordPress website. But it wasn't all the little pieces. It was how they all fit together. There are all these pieces to the puzzle, but people don't know how to put the pieces together. So there was more to it than just teaching them and telling them what they needed to do. They also needed help customizing the system for their unique needs in their businesses. They needed help executing all the elements that are needed to maximize the strategy. Because that's one of the big problems with online marketing. You feel like you need to learn to do everything yourself. You spend all your time figuring out Photoshop, WordPress, Aweber, etc., etc., etc. The gurus don't do that. They hire the experts. I know because they hired them from me. They don't know how to do WordPress. They never learned how to use Photoshop to create a graphic. They focus on what they need to focus on to grow their business. They focus on working on their business rather than in their business. So I've seen so many people fail because they spent so much time trying to learn what it was going to take. that they weren't actually executing and doing this work. They were just learning how to do the work. And ultimately, in the end, they never get as good as the experts. My WordPress guy can do in 15 minutes what would take me 3 hours. And I've been using WordPress for years. So this was our mission. We wanted to design a program that would free up the business owner from doing all the technical work and let them concentrate on the big picture tasks like connecting with their audience, bringing in new people, and closing on those 5-star prospects. And the program that we created is called the Quick Start Coach Inner Circle. The way the program works is that you need to think of me as your business partner with lots of experience and a proven team, except that I don't get a cut of your profits. We figure out, you and I together, what are the areas that we can work on together to have the biggest impact with the least effort. I'm always talking about the low-hanging fruit in your business. Then we take action in those areas and move your business forward every week or two when we meet. Sorry, getting a little error message there. Switch and check something. Initially, that means that we have my team set up your entire platform for you. Professionally designed website, lead magnets, autoresponders, social media accounts, consistent brand, logos, domain names, everything across all of the internet. And then the real fun starts. You and I meet by phone every week initially. And then as things get moving every 2 weeks. Not you and me and everybody else in the inner circle, just you and me, one-on-one. We spend our meetings planning out what's going to be done in the business between now and the next meeting. So from that meeting, we come up with an action list of items to be completed over the next week or two until our next meeting. Some of those items will be for you to complete. Some of them will be for me to complete. And some of them will be for members of my team to complete. You need graphics for your business? My graphics designer is going to create it for you. You need changes done to your website? My WordPress guy is going to do it. You need your autoresponder series set up in Aweber? My Aweber guy knows how to do it lickety-split. So everyone then goes and they work on their items and communicate back and forth via email in between meetings. So essentially, every 1 to 2 weeks, we're moving your business further and further forward, just like all the gurus that I work for. Now, how you schedule your time to complete your portion of the tasks is completely up to you. If you want to spend more time, then things will probably move faster. Our goal is to free you up from having to do the things that the team can do for you so that you can focus on, as I said, working on your business rather than in the business. Because that's how you make real progress in building a business. And whatever you need to learn, we teach it to you, usually one-on-one. This isn't a course. You're not going to have to go watch videos, do lessons, etc. You're going to talk to me and I'm going to teach you one-on-one how to write the content for your blog. I'm going to teach you one-on-one how to create great headlines. I'm going to give you homework. You're going to do it. You're going to send it back to me. We're going to talk again. We're going to go over it. I'm going to help coach, and my copywriters are going to go over everything you write to make sure that it's the best that it can be before it goes up onto your blog. It's not a course. It's a completely personalized success system where we will not let you fail. In fact, we've had such great success with the program that we can make a pretty amazing guarantee. We guarantee that you'll have your platform up and running in under 30 days, and that you'll be making at least $1,000 a month by the end of the first 12 months in the program. It takes some time to build a trusting audience, but when you do, it pays off, especially with a coach and a team that know all the tricks and have done it over and over again many times. Now, this is new because this is actually version 2 of the Inner Circle. We've learned a lot from version 1, and I think on our call tonight, We've got a couple of people that are actually inner circle members who are here on the webinar tonight. I recognized your name in the webinar registration. So the new version that we're doing has taken the lessons that we've learned in working with the people that were in version 1 so that we can get things moving even faster. That's why we can say we can get your platform up and running in 30 days. I hired more people on the team to be able to do it. And I learned from working with the people that we have now about how to speed up the process so that you can get that website up and going, professional looking website, quickly. So you're probably thinking, well, it's great. You're guaranteeing I'm going to make $1,000 a month. How much work am I going to have to do to get that? How much time do I need to devote to get those income figures? Under 10 hours a week. If you put in more, you'll probably make more. You move faster. You build your audience faster. You create things faster. So just let me go through some of the stuff that we cover. And it's not on a slide. I'm just going to say it to you. But it's on a page that I'm going to give you a URL for here at the end. So you get private coaching with me every typically 7 to 10 days. Most of the clients that I meet with, initially I meet with them every single week. And then it sometimes goes then to every 2 weeks once the platform's up and running and we're working on things that require a little longer to get done in between. You get access to my technical team of 17 experts to set up your business. Anything you need done for your business, I've got somebody to do it. We're going to help you, if you haven't already, select your niche. Maybe it's internet marketing. Maybe it's not. I have people from every niche you could possibly imagine in this program. We currently have about 60 people in the program right now. I have a Jewish rabbi in Israel who teaches the Hebrew Bible online. I have people who run pet sitting businesses. I have a classical guitarist who's building his audience in classical guitar. I have dozens of internet marketers. You name it, I'm working with them. They're one of my coaching clients because the same process of creating an audience that knows, likes, and trusts you works in any niche. So if you don't have a niche, then we can help you pick one. Well, you and I will coach together and we'll work and come up with a good niche. We'll work together and figure out the branding for your business. What's your domain name going to be? What are the logos going to look like? What are the best colors to use? How should the website be laid out? Well, how should you be represented in Facebook? All that branding. My graphics designers will create all your logos and your graphics designs, ebook covers, all that kind of stuff. We can do all that. You don't have to worry about any of that. My website designers are going to set up a professional website for you in WordPress with your own domain name, and we provide the hosting account too. So you get all your hosting account, everything's included. We set it all up for you. Now, if you have a hosting account you want to use or domain name you want to use, fine, we can use that too. But we're going to set you up a professional website, not something that looks like an amateur that's set up, something that a professional designer designed and created. Images, backgrounds, lead magnets on every single page to keep driving your list. Integrated offers on the pages to get people to buy the products that you recommend. If you're writing an article about autoresponders, why not have links in there that are tracked, that link to the different autoresponders where you could earn a commission? All of that integrated. It'll look like the website of a multi-million-dollar marketer because it's created by the same guys that create those websites. We set up all your social media and systems. I have one of my clients, he's been working in Facebook for the last few months, building an audience in another sort of interesting niche. And he's got a following of 3,000 people in Facebook. He had a following of 3,000 people in Facebook before he even had a website. By just following strategies, executing, we talk about it, we go over his numbers every week in every meeting. and he just keeps growing and growing and growing. He's built a brand in his niche. He's now a leader in his niche, and he didn't even have a website yet. Content creation, coaching, and support. This is part that a lot of people worry about. They worry about, I got to write an article for blog every week. I'm not a writer. How do I write content? I'm not a writer. I don't know how to write. I'm not an expert. Well, none of the people that I work with started out with as experts. But we have techniques and training and things that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to coach you so that you can create content easily. The more you create it, the easier it gets. When you follow the right frameworks and systems from the beginning, it speeds the whole flow of the process. Writing a blog post a week is going to be easy. You're going to have them written a month and a half in advance. So the stuff you're writing now isn't going to come out on the site for weeks. We're going to coach you, support you until you're turning out great content. We're going to create unlimited lead funnels for you. I recommend that you create a new lead funnel with a new lead magnet every single month, so you have something new to put out to the audience to try to capture more new people in. We're going to help you do that. We set up all the web pages, we create all the graphics. You write the content with our help, and we format it all out in a beautiful looking PDF that has your brand and everything in it for people to download. It's all there. It's all included. A new lead funnel every single month is what we recommend. We're going to set your autoresponder up for you. Doesn't matter if you use Aweber, GetResponse, Traffic Wave, GVO. We've used them all. I'm going to recommend, I'll just let you know in advance, I'm going to recommend that you use GetResponse or Aweber, because those are the ones that have the highest deliverability for your email. So we talk about that when you're in the program. But that will be my recommendation, and I can explain to you why, and I can show you the numbers to back it up. But we'll help you set the whole thing up. We'll set up your list for you. You don't even have to worry about that. We create new lead funnels, and we do the whole thing. You don't even have to log into Aweber. We'll do email copywriting and consulting with you to make sure that the copy that you're writing for your email is going to generate the result that you're looking for. If you want to get into YouTube or any of the other social medias, we can help you set up your channel. We can show you how to create videos quickly and easily using some tools that we use that I don't know anybody else that uses, so that you don't have to actually appear on video, but you can have new videos going out all the time. And we can help you get that all set up on YouTube to drive traffic back to your core. Anything you need to be profitable, we're going to provide and teach you to use. I'm your business partner. I'm going to do anything in my power to make sure that you're successful. That's the advantage of having a small group like this that I get to go deep with. And the only thing you need to bring and pay for outside the system is your autoresponder and the registration of your domain name. So you can get, if you want to go with Aweber, GetResponse, they have 30-day free trials, and you can get signed up with them with up to 1,000 people on the list that it costs $15 a month. And your domain name should cost you under $15 a year. Everything else we provide. That's all included in the program. Now, people say, hey, well, $15 a month for an autoresponder, that's only good for 1,000 people on the list. I'll tell you one thing, you got 1,000 people on your list and you're not making enough money that $15 doesn't matter, then you're doing something wrong. And that's what we're going to fix. So the program involves 40 to 50 individual coaching sessions over a 12-month period. Plus, my team set up every aspect of your business for you. So obviously, it is going to be a higher investment than a simple online course. As mentioned, we currently have about 60 members in the program, but I promised Janet that I would save her friends 5 spaces. I'm pretty full, but I told them that I would save 5 spaces for Janet's friends. So for Janet's friends, the cost of the program is, if you pay for the entire year up front, it is $2,497, $2,497 for the entire year. Or you can take the monthly plan, which costs $247 a month. But with a guaranteed $1,000 a month in income after a year, that's a pretty awesome investment. That's 4 times your money. You're paying $250 a month and you're making $1,000. And remember that the program also includes almost every product and service you need to run a successful business. If you're in the internet marketing niche and you need traffic, I got 400,000 people that I can send traffic to you. I'm not going to charge you for that. I want you to be successful. Your success is my success. So if you want to sign up and you want to be one of those 5 spaces, grab it for Janet's crew, then you can go to one of these links that are showing up on your screen right now. So quickstartcoach.com/Janet-yearly if you want to do the yearly discount. It's a pretty good deal. Saves a good amount of money if you take the once yearly payment. Or if you want the monthly, quickstartcoach.com/Janet-monthly. That's a special deal just for Janet, 5 spaces reserved just for her people to join the program and to join the 60 people that are already in. $24.97 for the entire year or $247 a month. So obviously taking the $24.97 saves you the equivalent of 2 months or about $500 over the run of a year if you just want to put it on the credit card up front. You get a guarantee of a minimum income of $1,000 a month after you've been in the program 12 months to allow us time to build that asset of that core of your home base of your website and your email list and build that relationship with those people. And I can guarantee that in any niche. So it doesn't matter. And if you don't have a niche, I'll help you pick one. So if you want to grab one of those 5 spots, go to one of these links on the screen. Once those 5 spaces are gone, then the links will no longer work. The reality is I only have so many hours in the day to do those regular one-on-one calls with each member. So the program can only be so large. It's not infinitely scalable like an online course, but it provides results like no online course can. The program isn't for everybody. It's for the ones that are most committed to their success and know that if they have the right support, then the sky's the limit. So I promised you a bonus strategy if you stayed until the end. So here it is. I mentioned that this was a strategy that will revive dead email lists and will help to determine who those 5-star prospects are on your list. Now, this works with your list. I wouldn't do this in a mailer or traffic exchange where you're mailing somebody else's list or a solo ad. This works for your list. So once you start building a list, then what often happens is that many of the addresses and people on the list kind of lose connection. Some of them you connect really deeply with, but then there's the ones that you don't. And this will bring that back. So, and it's simple, but deadly effective. And so I'm going to tell you a little story first about time that I used this. So back in the summer, it was the end of June, beginning of July. I was speaking with someone who was interested in joining the inner circle. And we were talking about it, and I go through a regular kind of list of questions when I'm talking to people one-on-one about the program. At that time when I was recruiting people, I was talking to everybody on the phone before I brought them into the program. And so I was on the call with them and I asked them about their business, right? So one of the questions obviously that I ask is, have you started building a list? And he was like, oh, yes, I was building a list. You know, most people say no, or maybe they have very small lists. And I said, well, what do you use for an autoresponder? And he said, oh, I use GetResponse. And I said, well, that's great. GetResponse is what I use. I find it's very good. That's good that you're using a professional tool like that. I said, how big's your list? And again, most people, even those using a tool like GetResponse or Aweber, tell me 100 people, something like that. That's usually what I hear. This guy says 18,000 people. I said, you have an 18,000 member list in GetResponse. And he was like, yeah, I do. In fact, it was 17,500. But I said, you must be making some money. How much money do you make off that list? And he said, I've never made $1. I said, you have an 18,000 member list and you've never sold a single thing. And he said, absolutely, never sold a single thing. I said, well, what are you emailing them? You know, how is that even possible? What are you emailing them? Of course, I kind of knew what the answer was going to be, but he went ahead and answered it. And he said, oh, well, I email them almost every day. And I email them whatever the latest product is that I'm promoting. I'm like, so you're just pitching to them. You're just sending them email after email, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And he was like, yeah, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? I'm wondering why I'm not making any sales. And I said, oh, no, that's not at all what you're supposed to do. He said, that's what everybody told me I was supposed to do. It's like, well, is it working? He said, no. I said, how many people are opening your emails and clicking on them? He said, usually the average is around 50, 60. I said, 50, 60 people click your email? He said, oh no. He said, 50, 60 people open the email. I said, really? Seriously? You're sending to 18,000 people and 50 or 60 people are opening the email. Well, I'll tell you right now, the problem is you're emailing them the wrong stuff. You're talking to them the wrong way. Go back to that original thing that the guru told me. It's about how you talk to your list and the depth of your relationship. I said, your list just thinks of you as a spammer. To them, you're just a spam factory. That's why you're not making any sales. You need a different approach. And he said, well, I think the email list is dead. I think I should just delete it. I'm paying GetResponse, for a list that large. He was paying them $165 a month for his GetResponse account and made no sales. And he said, I'm paying this money every month. I'm not making anything in sales. I figure all those email addresses are dead or gone. That's why they're not opening them. And I said, hold on a minute. I bet they're not. In fact, I will actually bet you that they're not. I said, I bet I can write them an email. You give me your GetResponse login and password. I'm going to go in and I'm going to write them an email. And this was actually July 4th weekend. So it was actually the holiday weekend. I was talking to him on Friday of the July 4th weekend. And I said, I'm going to write them an email. And I bet I can get 1,000 people to open it. And I can get over 100 of those people to actually write you a personal response. And he said, that's impossible. He said, I've been emailing them for a year. I've never gotten more than 62 opens. I said, it's all because you're talking to them the wrong way. I said, I haven't even seen what you've written, but I can tell that that you're talking to them the wrong way. I said, you give me your GetResponse username and password. I'm going to log in. I'm going to send them an email. You go back in, check it on Monday, and I bet you're going to have 1,000 opens. So this is where I implemented my strategy. So he said, okay, all right. I said, but one thing, if I can do it, if I can get you 1,000 opens, and if I can get 100 people to reply back to your email, you have to join the inner circle. And he said, okay, if you can do that, then obviously what I'm doing is wrong. And you can help me out. So I went in and I wrote an email. Now, this email is using a strategy. Again, I did not invent it, but I learned it from the gurus. And it's called the Amazing 9-Word Email. And that's what it is. It is an email with just 9 words. And now the 9 words can vary from one niche to another or what you want to accomplish. But what I did is I went in and I sent an email to his list. And the subject line of the email was, open me. That's all it said. Open me. And inside the email, the text of the email did not look like a commercial email. In fact, it looked like a personal email from James, who is the client. We did it in GetResponse, but I didn't do any kind of template, any kind of format, no logos, no anything. And it had one sentence. And that sentence was, is this still a good email address to contact you? Now, I don't know whether that's exactly 9 words. That usually works out to be around 9 words. But I asked a question. Is this still a good email address to contact you? And then I just signed it James. And I went even a little further because I really wanted this to look like James had sent them a personal email. So I put in 50 blank lines afterwards so that the little part that says, powered by GetResponse, click here to unsubscribe, was so far down in the email that it would be off their screen. They'd have to scroll down to see it, which made it look more like a personal email from an individual. And I sent it out to the 17,500 and whatever people. It was the key of the 9-word email strategy, which is short email, single sentence, looks personal, and is expecting a reply. So you're asking a question and you're expecting a reply. I sent that out and I just let it sit. It was the holiday weekend. So I went back in on Monday. I don't remember whether Monday was the 4th or Friday was the 4th, but I think it was Monday. I went back in on Monday to see how the results went. And we had 1,100 opens. 1,100 opens from a list that had previously never gotten more than 62. How? By just talking to them differently, by not looking like a salesperson. 1,100 opens. So I emailed him and I said, hey, I noticed it got more than 1,000 opens. Did anybody reply back? And he said 112 replies. 112 replies on holiday weekend to an email to a list that he thought was dead. So I said, what did they reply back? And he said, most of them just replied back and said yes. Well, we took it a step further because I told him beforehand, before we sent the email, I told him what I was emailing, and I gave him a response to send back to people. I said, when someone replies to you, if they say yes, send them this copy. And the copy back was, I'm glad to hear that. I didn't want to lose contact with you. Are you still trying to make money online? Signed, James. Again, personal. Now this time it was personal. It was coming from his email. So he manually copied and pasted this in and sent it to 112 people. Over 40 of those 112 people replied back to that email and got in a one-on-one conversation with James about how they were trying to make money online. From a list of people that he thought was dead, he was now in a one-on-one conversation with over 40 people who could be 5-star prospects. Having a conversation with them about the opportunities that he was promoting and the things that they had tried, and he went through a process with them, and he just continued to email them and ask them questions and offer them advice. He was helping them one-on-one to the people who had raised their hands and said, I want your help. And we elicited them to get them to raise their hands by sending a 9-word email that just said, is this still a good email address to contact you? Now, if you belong to any of my lists, you've seen the 9-word email. In all likelihood, you have seen the 9-word email because I use it all the time. I used it in my own business just the day before yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. I'm losing track of my days. So I used it to my list just in the last 48 hours. And I sent an email out to people that said, have you seen the emails about my new guaranteed income program? And I sent it out to, I think, about 6,000 people. 6,000 people. Now, these are 6,000 people who had not already responded to the emails that I've been sending talking about the inner circle. And I had over 60 people reply in the last 48 hours to say, no, I hadn't seen it. What's it about? Of those 60 people, just in the last 48 hours, 3 have joined the program. All from one 9-word email. That's why it's the amazing 9-word email. Because when you make connection with people, and when you make it look like it's personal, and when you ask them a question, then people feel compelled that they have to reply. If someone sends you an email and you think they sent it personally, and it's asking a question and expecting a response, your brain feels compelled to close that loop, to give them that response. And we use this all the time to revive dead email lists, to filter, to sort and screen people to determine who is it that is truly interested, that is truly engaged right now. The guy I learned from uses it to fill his entire coaching program. He has people on his list like me, and he sends out emails to them that say, hey, I'm running a new coaching program in Orlando next month. Do you want to come? And those little emails generate for him more than 7 figures a year with a 9-word email. So that's my bonus training. My bonus help for you is the amazing 9-word email. It's how you connect with people. Now, as I said, this is something to use with your list, with people who you have subscribed. It wouldn't do any good to send a 9-word email out to a mailer, obviously. But the 9-word email, and you don't have to do it with a list. I use 9-word emails all the time and I send them manually. I literally will send 100 individual emails, 9-word emails, to people who I want to connect with. I use 9-word emails to connect with strangers who I want to connect with, people who I'm interested in connecting with. I'll send them a personal email. And again, it doesn't always have to be 9 words, but it always seems like it comes very close. It's a single sentence. The key and the hard part to it is to not say more, because you want to. You want to explain. You want to make it 2 sentences. You want to make it 3 sentences. You want to make it 4 sentences. But the key is to not. The key is it's 9 words. It's 1 sentence. It's a single sentence and it's a question. And you can ask people all sorts of things. Let's say you're a realtor and you've got a list of clients that you've worked with over the years. You can send them all an email that says, hey, are you still interested in buying a property in Nova Scotia? You're sending it to people who you haven't talked to in a long period of time. Those the leads are technically dead. I guarantee some of them will reply back and say yes. Now, if they reply back and say no, that's fine. You remove them from your list and you move onward. You got a cleaner list. If they reply back and say yes, now you're in a one-on-one conversation with a potential client. No matter what business you're in, if you've got people's email addresses, the 9-word email will make you more money. So that's an example of something that we do and we use. And yes, James did indeed join the coaching program after we won the bet. And he is a coaching client that I'm still working with now. He's actually working on a fantastic opportunity that he got to be a regional manager of a network marketing company. And we are building an entire funnel system to bring in new reps to this new network marketing company under him.